Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? Or stared at someone familiar, struggling to remember their name? For many, these are just signs of aging. But what if I told you they could be something far more dangerous? After the age of 65, there's a silent threat that begins to creep in. One that doesn't shout, doesn't hurt, but slowly erodes the very core of who you are. Your memory, your identity, your mind. It's not just forgetfulness. It's not just getting older. It's a disease, and most people don't even realize it's already at work. This condition starts quietly. A missed appointment here, a misplaced word there. You laugh it off, your family jokes about senior moments. But what if these small slips were the early whispers of a disease that now affects over 55 million people worldwide? In this video, we're not here to scare you. We're here to wake you up. Because the earlier you spot it, the more power you have to fight back. We'll walk through the hidden signs, the surprising causes, and the science-backed ways to protect your brain. Starting today. Stay with us until the end, because what you'll discover might not only save your future, but someone else's, too. And if this message strikes a chord, drop a comment, give it a like, and share it, because silence is this disease's greatest weapon. It often begins with the little things. You repeat a story you already told. You walk into the kitchen and can't remember what you came for. You lose your keys again. These are moments we all brush off. I'm just tired. I've got a lot on my mind. And sure, sometimes that's true. But when these small slips become patterns, and when they start happening more often, more noticeably, they could be early signs of something deeper. The truth is, the early symptoms of cognitive decline are easy to miss, not just for the person going through them, but for their family too. It might look like someone pulling away from conversations because they're afraid of forgetting words, or skipping social gatherings because it's harder to follow what's going on. Some even begin to show mood changes, frustration, irritability, even depression. And here's what makes it worse. The people experiencing these changes often try to hide them. They overcompensate. They joke about forgetting things. They write more notes, set more reminders, and avoid situations that might expose their struggles. But deep down, something feels off. Recognizing these early signs is not about panic. It's about awareness, because catching them now could mean the difference between slowing down the disease or being blindsided by it later. In the next chapter, we'll uncover what really causes this silent attack on the brain and what most people never hear from their doctors. Most people think memory loss is just about getting older, but that's only part of the truth. Behind the curtain of forgetfulness lies something much more complex and much more dangerous. The real culprit is a slow, invisible process happening inside the brain. One of the biggest drivers? Inflammation. Chronic inflammation in the brain doesn't come with obvious pain. You don't feel it like a sore joint or a pulled muscle. Instead, it creeps in over years, triggered by poor diet, lack of sleep, high stress, and even loneliness. This inflammation begins to damage neurons, disrupt communication between brain cells, and slowly kill off the networks that keep your mind sharp. And then there's the role of plaques, sticky proteins like beta amyloid that build up and choke the brain's ability to function. These aren't just scientific terms, they're silent destroyers. By the time symptoms show, the damage has already begun. What's even more alarming is how lifestyle and environment can fuel the fire. A sedentary life, constant sugar spikes, a brain that's no longer challenged or engaged. All of these create the perfect storm for diseases like Alzheimer's to take root, sometimes decades before diagnosis. But here's the part. No one tells you. This isn't just about genetics or fate. In many cases, it's preventable. It's manageable. And the earlier you understand the causes, the better your chances of protecting your mind. In the next chapter, we'll dive into what speeds this disease up and the habits that might be quietly making it worse without you even knowing. The truth is harsh. Every single day, your lifestyle is either feeding your brain or slowly draining it. Let's start with what makes things worse. Diets high in sugar, processed foods, and trans fats create a constant state of inflammation. That soda you drink at lunch, The white bread, the fried snacks, the nightly dessert, they don't just affect your waistline. They dull your brain, cloud your focus, and over time, accelerate cognitive decline. Then there's inactivity. A sedentary life, sitting for hours, no movement, no challenge, is one of the most underestimated threats to brain health. Your body was made to move, and so was your brain. Without regular exercise, blood flow to the brain decreases. Without stimulation, the brain gets lazy and starts to atrophy, and let's not forget stress. Chronic, unmanaged stress floods your system with cortisol, a hormone that, in high levels, is toxic to brain cells. Over time, it shrinks critical areas like the hippocampus, responsible for memory and learning. But here's the good news. Just as lifestyle can damage, it can also protect. A Mediterranean-style diet rich in vegetables, healthy fats, and omega-3s. Daily movement, even just walking. Quality sleep. Mental stimulation through reading, puzzles, or learning something new. And meaningful social connection. These are not minor things. They are brain-saving strategies. People in so-called blue zones, regions with the highest rates of healthy longevity, follow these principles. And their rates of cognitive disease dramatically lower. So the question is not just if you're at risk, but what you're doing every day to fight back. In the next chapter, we'll show you what you can start doing today. Simple, science-backed actions that could make all the difference. Here's the most empowering truth of all. Your brain is not doomed by your age. Even after 65, even if you've noticed some changes, your mind has the incredible ability to adapt, heal, and even grow. The key, taking action now. Let's start with food, real food. Leafy greens like spinach and kale are loaded with antioxidants that protect brain cells. Fatty fish like salmon provide omega-3s that nourish your brain's structure. Blueberries? They're packed with compounds that boost memory and reduce inflammation. Then move. No need for a gym membership, just walk. Daily walking improves blood flow, oxygenates your brain, and stimulates the release of chemicals that grow new neural connections. Sleep is another powerful tool. Deep, restful sleep is when your brain clears out toxins, including the dangerous proteins linked to Alzheimer's. Prioritize it, defend it, make it sacred, and challenge your mind. Learn a new skill, play memory games, change your routines. Even brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand wakes up new parts of your brain. Finally, stay connected. Isolation is poison to the mind. Call a friend, join a group, talk to your neighbor. The brain thrives on meaningful interaction, and so does the heart. You don't need a perfect plan, you need a daily choice. Because the habits you build today are the defense your brain will thank you for tomorrow. In the final chapter, we'll leave you with a message, one that could change how you think about aging, memory, and what really matters most. If there's one thing you take away from this video, let it be this. You are not powerless. A silent disease may be creeping through the minds of millions, but silence is no longer an option. Not for you, not for your loved ones. Now you know the early signs. Now you understand the hidden causes, and now you have tools that can change the course of your future. You don't need to wait for a diagnosis. You can choose to act today, through your food, your movement, your thoughts, and your connections. But there's something else just as important. Sharing this message. Because maybe your mind is still sharp. Maybe you're already doing many of the right things, but someone you love might not be. They might be living in quiet confusion, ashamed of their forgetfulness, unsure of what's happening to them. They might be scared and not even know why this message could be the wake-up call they need. The lifeline that changes everything. So if this video brought you clarity, even just a moment of insight, let us know. Leave a comment, hit that like button, and most importantly, share it. Not because we said something brilliant, but because someone somewhere needs to hear it before it's too late. The brain may forget many things, but it never forgets when it's protected, nourished, and loved.